Alright, so here we have the back end of this Chevy, and prior to me starting working on this, there was a whole lot more metal here, none of it which was correct. So I peeled it back layer by layer, exposing some ugly stuff that needs to be fixed still, but the major focus was down here because this was where all of the body was out of alignment and uneven, wavy, corroded, all the good stuff. So I started out with making a little patch right here. So all I did was, you know, take a whole bunch of measurements and get this straightened back out a little bit because it was sprung, and just kind of, or not kind of, took it over to the metal brake, bent it to a 90, and then took these dies, which are basically Lancaster shrinker stretchers. This is just one set, I believe. These are the stretchers, but they are designed to go into a pull max, and so that made bending or making this curve here really quick and easy. It took a little bit of getting used to, but not as much as some other heavy equipment. And I kind of ground the marks out a little bit, just not take any thickness out, just to pretty it up and make it a little more presentable and a little less surface area. But that's kind of what the process was with that. And I'm just about to get it welded in. You can see I have it tacked in, and in spots on the top you might be able to see that there's about 12 plug welds in there. All TIG work. Okay, so here we have the Chevy again, working on the trunk floor pan. There were some questionable areas. I have all of it cut out here, but this is what was there. Real pretty, good. That's the back side of it. Ring around the rosy right there. But so you can see over here in this other area that I'm gonna have to patch, if I can get my light to work, you can see the laser light show going on. That's not what you want out of your floors. There we go. And so that's what I'm working on currently. Just on Thursday or Friday of last week, I believe it was Friday, I wrapped up this lip down here that you saw me working on in the last update. It turned out pretty darn good, I think. It's still a little bit of work to do and before going into paint, obviously. But all that'll be sorted out beforehand, and then a little bit of welding here and there just to completely wrap it up. All right, so last time we did a little update. I believe it was right after I had finished up this little lip here, and as you can see, it's been painted with some weld through primer, just to protect it after a cover gets put on this, which is what I will be working on next. But in between those, I put in a fairly large patch here, and one right here. And that was, oh, that's right, that was the laser light show that we did. Started on making the cover plate for all that. Just kind of have it rough marked out, and you can see there's duplicate lines and whatnot, but that's to be fine-tuned. Alright, so here for another update. I've gotten all this understructure repaired and back in good positioning, as you've seen previously. Brushed on some primer underneath to cover everything up so it can prevent rust down the road. And big change there, I made up a panel to cover all that up as factory as possible. As you can see, there's a whole good bit of plug welds, good and strong. And then I'll run back and take along this edge to clean it up, and now it'll get ground down. And here's the shop supervisor dropping off tape balls for us. And then I'll probably stitch in a couple into the floor just to be extra safe. But once that's finished, I will either start working on the latch pocket or moving back onto the deck lid to get it ironed out. Alrighty, so we have here the Chevy's deck lid structure. All I had to do it was reshape the latch area. It had been, the angle came out to here rather than this line. It was a little steeper, so I had to hammer it all flat and then just reshape it by hand, really. And that had caused cracks in some areas, and so I had to weld those back up and all that good stuff, and kind of fine-tune this radius back here again. So that's pretty well wrapped up. Maybe a touch of cleaning up here and there, but for the most part finished. So now I'm hopping back over to this deck lid skin, and as you can see, and if you remember from the previous videos, this patch has been fabricated and welded in, and so now I'm just kind of fine-tuning some things and kind of planning ahead to get this skin wrapped up and then put back on the structure. And so hopefully once I have all of that together, I can get the latch back in the deck lid, get the deck lid on the car, and then relocate the receiver for the latch on this panel we did over here, or I did over here, because I left the latch hole out of it just so I could get it right where I want it.